Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Laughing in Different Languages. I'm Laura Lopez. Today we have a very exclusive guest, Brian Lennon.
Hi, thanks for having me, Laura.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to be here.
So please tell us a little bit about yourself and your comedy journey.
I look at my comedy journey as also like a character journey.
Yeah.
It's a teacher of life. It's been one of the biggest teachers of life for me. A few facts about me. I am from Southern California. I've been living in Prague for 11 years. I went to a liberal arts school, studied acting, writing. I even took a year-long comedy course.
Wow, great.
That the first half of the year was improv and like masks and that kind of comedy. The teacher like brought in famous stand-ups for us to watch, and she was really big on just write down things you want to talk about, and I'll help you talk about it in a funny way in your voice.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I was the least funny one in the class.
How do you measure that? I think that's a biased perception, though.
Well, let's say I was one of the least comfortable because I had only done dramatic theater, and I was really good at that. I grew up like watching stand-up. I've been doing comedy for about 7 years, if you count the year when I was young in New York, and 3 years now in Czech.
All right. So you said that you had the first year was masks and improv?
Yeah, and I think originally what attracted me to that class, I don't think I was thinking so much of doing stand-up. I knew that that was the second half of the class, and it terrified me.
Which aspects of it?
The thought of being alone on stage, trying to be funny.
Like no other support acts, nobody else on stage.
I mean, I was so confident on stage with other actors.
Yeah.
I was confident improvising. I mean, I didn't think of myself as a funny person. They're more talented than me. I don't think that way anymore. I mean, I recognize when somebody is really talented.
Yeah.
This business and the whole part of doing this, talent alone will get you nowhere.
I 100% agree. When people prefer natural talent to hard work, because we say, oh, it's natural for them. When you do hard work, it's like, oh, you're trying really hard, so it's not your talent. Do you know what I mean?
I think I do. And I would maybe go a little further and say that people that are naturally extremely hardworking, that is a talent in itself.
Absolutely.
Like the first time I ever did stand-up comedy, I murdered. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that I didn't bomb repeatedly many times after that. I've learned more from watching my heroes bomb than anything else. That has been the most important thing for me because it taught me how to be a professional. It taught me how to keep going and do my best and just shut it out. Yeah. That's kind of the way I think about it now. It's who cares?
It's humanizing, right? Like you understand that not everybody's perfect. Even if you're like at that caliber of an artist, you still can make mistakes.
I mean, I think it shows you like how cool comedy is really. Like sometimes you'll have this idea that you know is gonna work, but then the first time you try it, it doesn't work. And I used to just give up on that. I had to find a way for it to work, and so I do that now. I don't give up on it. I'm like, I figured out at some point like how I come off. Like I think it's really important to know how you appear, how you're seen by other people.
Yes.
And then you can really play with that. I needed to have more fun and smile more, and even laugh a little bit
at your own jokes. Yes. You told us that you did comedy in the U.S.
Yeah, long time ago.
And how does that compare to comedy here?
No, I mean, I think the main difference is that when you do jokes in Europe, these people are Dutch, these people are from Spain. A room full of people with different cultural touchstones than you have, assumptions about life. I think in the US, and I know everybody's from America, in a room full of like it's a black club. Like when I was in New York, when I was young doing this, I used to go to the black clubs just to like see if I could be funny there too. Because everyone told me like, dude, you got to go there because they'll fucking let you know. Like,
yes, it's the final boss.
I bombed. I think the first time I bombed really bad. My point is, it still exists in the US because it's such a diverse country. Like, professional at this, you are looking at the room, you're listening to the other comics, you're seeing what's working for other people. A couple shows that I've done here recently, I've barely done any material. I've just realized that material is not going to work tonight. I've watched the other comics. Like,
do you think the MC can make or break a night?
In Europe, yes.
In Europe, yes. What would be the difference in the US, for example?
I never saw an MC that was like a good comic. The MC in the US is always like a decent comic who that's usually the spot they get before they get like a 7-minute spot on the show. When April Macy came here, one of my favorite comedians, when April Macy came here, the MC that we have here, who's amazing, when he introduced her, he just said, "Ladies and gentlemen, April Macy," because she's been doing it for 20 years. Yeah. Fucking amazing. Like, one of the greatest live shows I've ever seen. She
is, yes, absolutely.
And she can warm the audience up herself. She doesn't need an MC to come out. In Europe, you don't have as many people like that have been doing it a while. And so the MC is often the best comedian in the place. And I had never seen that before. And honestly, I don't really like it. I don't really care what people do for a living, and where they're from, and that, like, I want to see people tell jokes. Yeah. And I understand that you have to do it. I do it sometimes when I'm in my set, I'll talk to people and stuff. When you MC, for the most part, the type of jokes it really limits what you can do, because it has to be all these surface level jokes. It sounds like I'm being snobby and like dogging on MCs, and I'm really not. If you're really good at crowd work, it's a very valuable skill to have, because at the end of the day, people are out to have a good time.
We're the only American doing stand-up in Czech. That's a title that you need to hold close to your heart, right?
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy about that is when I did my first open mic 3 years ago, it was just a challenge to myself to like improve my Czech.
Speaking. Yes, exactly.
I just wanted to like see if some of my jokes that I had in English would work in Czech.
Yes, exactly.
And I never thought in a million years that the biggest stand-up group in the country, which is called Nastojaka, they've been around for 20 years. They have shows all over the country. They have a competition called the Nastojaka Academy. So a friend of mine is like, "You should enter that." And I was terrified. And so I make it a point to always do things that I'm terrified of.
The adrenaline, yes.
I haven't jumped out of a plane yet, and I'm terrified of doing it, so maybe
With a parachute,
I will.
I hope.
Well, yeah. I don't know, it depends how I'm feeling that day.
Exactly, yes.
No promises. If you win 3 times, they offer you a paid spot. It was this gig where it's an open mic, and the audience holds up these cards, 1 through 10, and they rate you. I won that first one, and it's different. When I was on TV, I did Czechoslovakia Has Talent, and one of the things that the judges said was, like, your comedy is different than Czech comedy. The way you write, it's like American comedy, but in Czech language. Yeah. It's like you're teaching us how to do comedy.
What would you say are the main differences between the Czech audience and the international audiences?
Most of the time, they tend to love dark humor. I mean, it's part of their language. We have this expression in English, "You're barking up the wrong tree." Yeah. In Czech, that expression is, "You're crying on the wrong grave." So that's like a little window into
how normalized maybe
like they're just becoming comfortable with stand-up comedy as a thing. Whereas American audiences, everybody's at least seen a Netflix special. A lot of times with Czech audiences, when you poll the room, 80% of the audience has never been to a live show. When I did my solo show in Brno recently, half the room had never been to live stand-up comedy.
At all.
Wow. My experience with them, I think you can say almost anything. I don't want to offend Czech people. I have been shocked by a couple of Czech films at the things that they're still saying. Things that 20 years ago is still said in America. Culture,
it was more common.
Mainstream perspective, it was okay in that sense. Here, like, I saw a movie here about, it was basically La Cage aux Folles or The Birdcage, Like this movie that was being made in the 90s in America, they're still making that movie here about the guy who's in the closet and his mom surprises him and he has to pretend his boyfriend is his. And I remember saying, this is so dated. I can't believe like that they're still making it. I think a lot of it is lack of contact with people from different places.
Absolutely. What are 3 qualities that you think a comedian should have?
Oh, wow. That's a question. No, I think your own voice, which obviously you need time to develop, and your voice changes over time too. But I think that we all like reach this place at a certain point where we understand what's funny about us, and you're not trying to be some other comedian. Say like crazy belief in yourself. If you're going to stand up there in front of people with a microphone saying, you should all be listening to me, you better fucking believe in yourself.
Delusion.
Yeah. I would say this one is the most important.
Ooh.
You love being up there and you enjoy it, and people can feel that you're having so much fun. And I think I didn't get that for years. And I became so much better when I got that, because people are there to have a great time.
Yeah. What's something nobody prepared you for in stand-up?
In a way, it's not about stand-up, but about how important the business is. Doing the business of stand-up. And, you know, you are one of the people that helped me with that, like pointed me in the right direction. I really admire how you do the business. In this era where we're doing stand-up, you know, where we have Instagram and TikTok, just having a lot of followers does not necessarily equal people at your shows. It's getting active followers. And so I'm looking to these people that I've seen be very successful with it in this country. No one prepared me for the fact that that was as important and sometimes more important than the actual show.
Yes, than the talent, the writing, the business part of it, the plan, the execution, the ads.
You know, this comic that has the career that I want, basically, he's a friend of mine.
Let's say his name.
Tigran.
Tigran. Yes, we know him.
Yeah, he's great. And he's a very nice guy. I don't just want to emulate the career that he has. I also want to be like this decent person that he is. So I got this really cool opportunity this summer to do these Live Nation shows. Live Nation, or I don't know if you know what that is, or people listening. It's in Czech, and there are these shows at Letňany, at the airfield here. These huge bands, and then they have that like the entertainment and like betting and stuff before the show. One of those outside stages, and I'm like super psyched about it. I have already a new hour. I have a lot of material, and actually really excited because I'll be able to get away from Americans are like this and Czechs are like this. Once the audience knows you, you can just be you.
Yeah. Do you find a disbalance between men and women in the European comedy scene?
Oh, for sure. It reminds me kind of like of the disbalance between men and women in chess. My Mount Rushmore, I have Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Joan Rivers, and then my 4th is always kind of fluctuating. Yeah, it's someone who's living right now and they're not done yet. The reason Joan Rivers is there is longevity. She was doing it when there were virtually no other women doing it. And she was an amazing writer. However, that doesn't mean it was like a fair time and it was great for women or whatever. She was the trailblazer. She's the reason women have careers today. In Europe, I think a large part of the reason that the disbalance is there is because culturally, there's still this idea that women just aren't funny. Therefore, like not as many women are encouraged. There's also this idea you can't be funny and sexy. Look at the open mics and you look at like the list. Is it half and half? Is it like 60% men,
it's
40%?
Never half and half.
The girls in the classroom, if we're talking about elementary school, were by and large smarter than the guys. The guys were louder. Part of the human condition still is that the loudest, most annoying, aggressive, those are the people that are gonna come out. So you add the kind of socialization, like guys are often like more used to being louder. I'll be the center of attention. You should listen to me. I think that's part of it. What I'm saying is I'm hopeful it'll change because I think it's just time. But I don't know how to be a part of that change.
It's going to take a lot of work from people who do have a foot in the door, right? People like that have to talk about it and they have to say, yes, I know a lot of good women who are funny. Change is in everyone. It's not just in, oh, yes, get a seat at the table and then you're going to open up opportunities for more women. It's not just that. It's the players that are currently at the table that need to make a change.
And do you think they are?
Not everywhere.
Isn't that, though, kind of just like foisting all the responsibility on women in a way? Like,
no, I didn't say women.
But I mean, what do you mean then? Maybe I misunderstood.
The men. Yes, the men need to talk about it.
Okay.
The men need to.
Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying the women that made it.
No.
Men that like are successful comics.
Yeah.
Like if they tour, like they bring.
Yeah. Bring an opener who's a woman for a change.
But yeah, no, I think that's 100% right.
As we know, like in any field of work, it's like that. I'm not saying they have to talk about it and preach, but they shouldn't be silent about it.
I personally hate when people say female comedian.
Female comedian. Jesus Christ. How would you describe the Czech comedy soul to non-Czech speakers? In like 3 adjectives, or 3 words.
Depressed, goofy, and cynical. And I think that describes my comedy very well. And I think it's part of the reason that I'm becoming successful on the Czech side. It's not just because I'm American. It's because my style really resonates with them. I have a Slavic part of me. My grandmother was full Serbian.
Brian, do you have any upcoming shows where we can come watch you?
All of these are available on my Instagram page, Brian Lennon Comedy. You can buy tickets for everything there, and I hope you will.
Very good. So thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for giving us your time and sharing all your knowledge with us.
Thank you for having me, Laura. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Thank you. Follow us for more laughing in different languages. Thank you.